This is Monza, round 13 of the 2017 FF1M Championship, and as tradition, I'm being joined by Courtney from Shake and Bake.
Hello. Yeah, you've pointed out that I apparently attend all the Monza commentaries, which isn't something I'd noticed before, but...
Now, ever since 2012, you've attended all but one. That 2012 one where Vettel just goes off.
That was brilliant, yeah where I called it, and it was even worse than I predicted.
Yeah, and then something happened to both my drivers, which I'll get onto in a moment, but we'll do a quick recap of the previous race. Tornado won 2, Vino Kiminen ahead of Roman Grosjean. Good fight though with Fernando Alonso, and a good strategy call, but eventually the Tornadoes were just a bit too quick.
Yeah, I think the chances of... I think Alonso had an outside shot at the championship, but I think the chances now are very, very slim. I just think the Kiminen in particular and the Tornadoes are too strong now.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they actually have a chance to wrap up the team's championship. Their lead is that big. If they get a 1-2 and Mitchell only score 1 point, then that's a team's championship done, which will be the earliest. Yeah, 5 more rounds to go.
Yeah, that's pretty mad considering that there is still... It's much better mathematically. There's still a chance of somebody else taking the driver's title for this to happen so quickly on the constructors. That just kind of shows the advantage of actually having 2 drivers.
Exactly, yeah.
Which I do now, to be fair. I don't. I certainly used to be a one-man show, but Nolan Bryant's been particularly impressive.
He's been decent, but he's been unlucky. But speaking of unlucky, never mind a bone to pick, I have an entire skeleton to clobber with this particular race, because ever since FF1M's moved to GP4, Monza has been cursed.
For you?
An absolute curse for me. I mean, that 2012 race, there was Lucas Di Grassi's engine blew up. He was driving for Sean Connery Motors. Then he did that petulant thing into the wall, and first Grosjean hit an errant tyre and just missed the pit entry, so had to do a full lap, and then Kimi Raikkonen hit Grosjean's front wing and then had to do a lap, and both my drivers had to queue up. That's one example. I can name some more later on, but for the grid, Lewis Hamilton appears to be back on form. That's his 35th career pole position ahead of Alonso, and Sainz third. How? He's been dreadful all season, and he's just suddenly popped it up to third. Must be a qualifying mode, but good effort nonetheless. Bryant 4th, so both Shake and Bakes in the top 4. Then Gonzalez doing well in 5th for CBA, ahead of Ricciardo. Then an all FJR row 4, Kevin Magnussen ahead of Caterina Caracciola.
Wow, where are the Tornadoes?
Getting onto those in a moment, but for the moment, Jean-Eric Vernon and Alessandro Farina round out the top 10. And where are the Tornadoes? They're on row 6, Vino Kiminen ahead of Roman Grosjean. More than likely that they're focusing on race setup, because Kiminen did top the Sunday warm-up session.
Even so, they've left themselves with a bit of a mountain to climb here.
And apparently Climax have taken a big engine upgrade as well, and that's the best they could manage. Probably reliability based, maybe engine power based, but who knows. Alfonsi 13th, Bottas 14th, Raikkonen 15th, Vettel down in 16th compared to his teammate. It was over second off of his teammate. Then Lee 17th, Clark 18th, and Perez, the lowest of the 16 Bs, in 19th ahead of Nico Hulkenberg, who's had a pretty dreadful season, unfortunately. And then at the back, the 2 Willows, and curiously they were on the hard tyres in qualifying, even though for the rest of the season you don't actually have to run the hard tyres anymore.
No, you don't, technically, yeah.
Yeah, but some teams were in free practice.
It's probably just people not updated the spreadsheet thing, I imagine. But...
Some more examples of my Monza curse. Let's go 1991. The first lap, Nelson Piquet collided with Ayrton Senna at the first chicane. Later that first lap, JJ Later, who had inherited the lead, got binned at the Parabolica. 1992. Damon Hill and Johnny Herbert get involved in Jean Alesi's stupidity on the second lap, which left Hill out on the spot and Johnny Herbert refusing to get out of the car in the pit stop. The entire race just sat in the pits.
I remember that, yeah.
So here we go. 5 lights go out and a big long shot, and see who gets the best start. There's a car jinking out. I think that was Nolan Bryant, but off the line, Hamilton getting away fairly well, but he's got Sainz alongside into the first chicane. Is there going to be any shenanigans at the Rettifilo? And, well, there's a
Bloody
car
hell,
park. There's a car park at the back, but everyone seems to have gotten away without damage for now. But Sainz moved to second, but here comes Fernando Alonso past the Curva Grande underneath the Firestone Bridge and into the Roger chicane. That is second for Alonso, and the two FJRs going at it. That's Caracciola getting ahead of Magnussen. And further back, what have we got? A Willows on the move, challenging Sebastian Vettel. That is Max Verstappen, moving up to 16th place. And rounding the Lesmos and Sainz, yeah, that's definitely a qualifying setup because he's already dropping back and under pressure from Nolan Bryant.
Yep. And I imagine he's going to be like the cork in the bottle, is Sainz.
Very much so, but here comes Bryant into Ascari. Bryant up to third. Two shake and bakes. Magnussen being challenged by Ricciardo and just about hanging on to the circuit. Sergio Perez now challenging Vettel and not managing it through the exit of the Ascari. That was a shake and bake at the front. And Alonso, he'd taken the lead. That was what it was. Alonso taking the lead from Lewis Hamilton. Is Lewis Hamilton going to try and get back alongside? Let's see, a look at that straight line speed from Alonso, but Hamilton trying to get back into slipstream. Alonso defending pretty well. And that's Gonzalez passing Sainz. There's all sorts of action, and Magnussen losing out very badly. Probably thanks to his near Ascari off because Farina and Kinnunen making their way up the order. So it's still pretty clean, and look at this. Hamilton versus the shake and bakes at Roger. Be careful. Oh, Bryant up to second place. Alonso had to be very generous there.
Yeah, I think Alonso didn't do a good job of the first chicane. He missed the apex. I imagine that compromised his line out, and yeah, just had a bad run into the second chicane.
Absolutely, and Bryant, he's got a very good slipstream into the Ascari. He's going to try Hamilton. Not quite. He's had to back out of that one, but here's Caracciola versus Sainz and elbowing her way past the Spaniard at the Ascari. And there's Kinnunen right at the back of Bottas, who's not done too badly in the opening laps, but Bryant taking the lead. Nolan Bryant into the lead of the race.
Is that the first time he's led a race?
I think so. If we wait until he crosses the line, he may have led a lap at Silverstone during the pit stop sequence.
Oh, look at this. It's just a back and forth, isn't it, in the slipstreams? Bit
back and forth, but Bryant just as aggressive on his defence. Hamilton hitting him. And, oh no, I saw Stoffel Van Dorn.
Again. Oh, and this, CBA is just driven off the track.
That's Thomas Gonzalez struggling to make the apex of that car.
Oh, there's a huge pile up there.
That is Cooper Lee versus Jean-Eric Verne. So Verne backwards and Hulkenberg out as well. So we've got Van Dorn and Hulkenberg both out of the race very early. Let's see what happens. That's a three wide moment. Perez, Lee and Verne. Never going to work. And Perez getting into more bother later on.
So this is the Hulkenberg Van Dorn incident, I'm guessing.
And Hulkenberg not even close to making that corner. Wow. That is shocking driving from Hulkenberg.
I just think poor Van Dorn. Like, just completely taken out again. The man has zero luck.
I know. And that's not going to do Judd's development much good. And what's happened? Sainz got back ahead of Caracciola at some point during this lap, and Gonzalez nearly losing it altogether at the Ascari. And now Gonzalez proving a bit of a cork in the bottle, and Gonzalez had a good race last time out at Spa, went from 15th to 5th, so that'll have done CBA's championship a bit of good.
I'm still laughing at that.
Yeah.
I just can't. How unlucky can one man be? Who's that?
That's Ricciardo, so that's the other Andrew in trouble and dropping behind Grosjean. And we got some more action, and let's see, yellow flags, but I suspect that's the recovery of Jean-Eric Verne and Lee. So that's the marshals just being a bit cautious on retracting those.
Yeah, where are the cars? I think they've all got going again, haven't they?
Yes, they have, and it's a shake and bake 1-2. I don't remember Alonso passing Hamilton, so he must have done at the exit of that little conflab between Bryant and Hamilton, as Gonzalez struggling again with the chicanes. I haven't checked the fuel loads, but Kinnunen looks as if he's on a 2-stop strategy, because that's going to about lap 20, or maybe a bit earlier than that. Farina 1 stopping. That's a lot of fuel on board the Gajera, and Farina squandered an opportunity last time at Spa when he qualified very well and was genuinely quick, but crashed it at the bus stop chicane.
So, I'm running 1 and 2 at the moment. Alonso 1.2 seconds behind Nolan. It'll be interesting to see what it is when he crosses the line again next, because it might get a bit worrying if these two start battling. That said, Bryant fastest lap.
Bryant faster than Alonso at the moment, and by 0.8 of a second as well.
Wow.
Caracciola versus Hamilton down the main straight into the Rettifilo. Hamilton not even defending that one, and we've got an FJR up to third. We've got a Yorkshire 1, 2, 3 at the moment.
Sounds good to me, that.
Champion. And, well, let's hope she can stay there, because, well, here's another example of me Monza curse. Last season, Magnussen binning a race win.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, and ultimately the championship, because I think by the end of the season, Magnussen was less than 12 points off. So, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been all he needed.
All he needed, yeah. He needed just one of his 2 lost wins last season, Magnussen. One at Monza, then one at Silverstone as well, which was a suspension failure. But yeah, that one was definitely his fault. Ricciardo, 12th place, recovering after that little off at the Parabolica, challenging Alessandro Farina for 11th into Ascari. Let's see if these two can keep it behaved. Yeah, very well behaved. And Ricciardo up to 11th, but it's another long straight into the Parabolica. Is that Hamilton coming under pressure from Sainz? I think Hamilton is very, very heavy with fuel if he's dropping back.
Yeah, it was only the 10th fastest on the last lap.
Yes.
So, Sainz.
Oh!
What was that?
That was Ricciardo off. And
again.
Out.
Yeah.
Out goes Ricciardo. And a new fastest lap for Kinnunen, so that is Tornado race pace showing itself there. Shows that he's the 3rd fastest on that lap, but it did come up with Kinnunen fastest lap, so that graphic may be a little bit incorrect. As Bottas now challenges Hamilton. Hamilton lost that place to Carlos Sainz on that previous lap. Yeah, Bottas definitely 2 stopping, and need another glimpse of Hamilton's fuel load. I also suspect that, and taking the wrong side, and Kinnunen, is he going to take advantage of that into the Ascari? It'll be a bit of a daft one if he tried to outbrake him there, but yeah. And
he's got a good runner here. He's going to get past here, I think.
What's worth mentioning that Bottas running the Megatron engine and Hamilton on the Mugen engine, which I don't think is the most powerful engine anymore. They certainly weren't competitive in Spa, aside from Farina, with the highest placed Mugen only 8th in Sebastian Vettel.
Tell you what, that climax though looks good. The grunting in that. I thought he was going to get past him at the what's it called? Parabolica.
Parabolica.
But no, first chicane instead.
First chicane, and up to 6th place goes Väinö Kinnunen, and yeah, I'm still maintaining that he's going to be 2 stopping, but it's a late first stop. But we'll see how that strategy pans out. And Kevin Magnussen, that's 100% a one-stop strategy he's running, but he's still trying to make his way through the field past Cooper Lee. So that would explain Magnussen's poor pace in the early stages, dropping from 7th to 14th now. And with Sainz, something's happened to Sainz. He's dropped way down the order.
Oh, there's debris there.
And
he's hit the wall up there, I think. No, there's something. Oh, crikey.
Yes, Sainz. So he's still running, but without a front wing. And
there's a wheel there.
Careful, everybody. Cooper Lee.
Crikey.
That's unfortunate.
Okay.
So Pedersen's are going to have to queue up. So Sainz, all on his lonesome, goes off and rejoins right into the path. Oh, and Davey Mate.
Great evasive driving there.
That was pretty poor from Bottas. So Bottas out of the race, and I think Gonzalez.
How did that wheel get carried?
I think Gonzalez has damaged his front wing as well, because he's dropped back and Raikkonen's pit indicator showed red, which that means your teammate is coming into the pit. So that's bad luck for Thomas Gonzalez.
That's played out perfectly for Kinnunen as well. Basically, all the cars in front of him have taken damage there.
Yep, and up to 4th, and certainly doing his championship a lot of good there. And let's see, first of probably 3 pitters, Thomas Gonzalez, and That's unlucky for the CBA Racing, getting caught up in somebody else's shenanigans. So I think Sainz will be coming into the pits, and then Cooper Lee will be forced to queue behind his teammate, so Pedersen's race completely down the toilet. And that is Vern looking... Oh, it's Bryant!
What's happened?
That's race leader Nolan Bryant, and that's a smoky Megatron. So Fernando Alonso takes the lead of the race.
Christ's sake. Again, he's just...
Bad luck bogey for Bryant.
Yeah, both of the... and what's happening to Fernando? Is he going slow?
Well, he's one stopping, and he's been caught by Caracciola for the race lead. And I will admit that I've done a bit of setup, balance setup for first practice, and I'm running engine settings which are less than no protection. So
okay.
basically, in qualifying, you can choose an engine map setting which raises the power and lowers the reliability. And yeah, that's what I've done. So far, it's working for Caracciola, and Magnussen now up to 9th on the very, very heavy one-stop. And Fernando Alonso is coming up to lap, I suspect, Cooper Lee. Both Pedersen's in 16th, 17th. And for some reason, they're on the hard tyres as well. That's only going to harm Goodyear.
Yeah, it's not been a good start for me so far in terms of engine development as well, with at least 2 cars out now.
And Alonso puts that lap on Cooper Lee, who is without a drive next season. And a little bit of a shame, but oh well. 3 seasons in FF1M. Could return at some points, but for the moment, Cooper Lee will not be driving in 2018.
He's had his moments, but been a little bit unspectacular, I suppose, in the last couple of seasons.
Yep. And that fuel load Alonso's on a one-stop strategy. So basically, he just needs to stay in front and keep track position. We got Max Verstappen in 11th place, also one-stopping, making his way past an AJ. That is James Clark for 10th place. And Verstappen was nearly in the points at Spa, actually. He was 11th, Van Dorn was 10th, and Magnussen was 9th. And then the other Judd, which is Caracciola, finishing at Spa. And Spa had turned the engines right down.
Oh my, look at Kiminen. Look how fast he's catching up. That's insane.
Yes, Kiminen catching up to both Alonso and Caracciola.
So what strategy do we think he's on? Have we seen his fuel indicator yet? Because if he's on anything other than a 3-stopper, it's probably game over already with that kind of pace.
We're not expecting 3 stops. And, Caracciola in trouble. That is Caracciola in trouble. And what was that? Kiminen...
Oh, bit of contact there.
Yeah, barging Cooper Lee out of the way. But, yeah, that is a massive problem and a Judd engine failure for Caterina Caracciola.
So your protection wasn't very protective?
Well, as I said, less than no protection. But, yeah, that's a concern.
Less than no. Oh, I'm with you now. Sorry,
yeah.
it confused me.
What have we got? Vettel versus Alfonsi for 7th place. That's 7th place for Sebastian Vettel. Fernando Alonso, race leader, going through the Roger chicane.
Is he about to... Yep, there we go. And he's out. Great. Good stuff. Well done.
And
who goes off on the first Lesmo and hits the wall? How's he gone off there?
Might as well just gift Kiminen the race win now.
What an absolute shit show. What was that? Bryant out from the lead.
And Alonso
on
throwing it away.
And then Alonso crashed. Literally everybody has just crashed. Like, Kiminen has... He's done some overtakes. He's done like 4 overtakes, but everyone else has just either crashed or blown up in front of him. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. They're not even trying to put up a defence.
No, it's like, might as well just keep the door open, like, come on through.
Yeah. As
Hamilton's about to do here. Roman Grosjean about to take 3rd place. Next target, we got a CBA up in 2nd, and it's Kimi Räikkönen. And he was quicker than Kiminen on that lap, probably because Kiminen decided to elbow his way. Well, we've got Hamilton. That's a good effort to fight back on Roman Grosjean. And who else have we got? We got Verstappen in the points now, in 8th place for Willows, and the only one running who's on the soft tyres. And Perez is the fastest driver on the circuit. So then we've got Clark in 10th, Verne 11th. Gonzalez looking to recover from that unfortunate wing problem caused by Sainz in 12th place at the moment. And then Farina, I suspect he's made a pit stop as well to repair some damage because he dropped down the order as well.
I mean, I'm just sat here just annoyed that both my cars have retired from the lead and we're on lap 13. Or lap 14, sorry. So I'm in a bad mood now. So maybe give me a couple of minutes before I say anything ridiculous again.
Fastest lap for Väinö Kimminen, 1:19.935, so he's broken the underneath the 1 minute 20 barrier as we continue to watch Hamilton versus Grosjean down the pit straight. And here comes the slipstream for Roman Grosjean, and Hamilton once again not choosing to defend, almost accepting the inevitable that Roman Grosjean's swerving in front of him and nearly losing that place altogether, but getting his elbows out there. But Hamilton's still got an opportunity to fight back through the Curva Grande. And that's the exit of Curva Grande. Is Hamilton going to have a go back into the Roger chicane? He's indeed, and that's back up to third for Lewis Hamilton. And I saw Sebastian Vettel lurking up to these two as well, right on Roman Grosjean's gearbox, having a look into the first Lesmo, but sensibly backing out of that one. And out of the second Lesmo, which in real life was first modified in 1994 and then completely modified in 1995 to the version which still remains to this date. Up the inside, attempted, goes Sebastian Vettel, but not making that one stick. And we're about to approach the first of the two stops. Is Kimi Räikkönen on a two-stop? I think he was, judging by the way he made his way past Lewis Hamilton earlier on. Oh, I just remembered there's some milestones. I mean, Alonso was celebrating his 300th race, but he celebrated that one in the barrier. Sebastian Vettel is celebrating his 200th race. Not doing too badly for him at the moment. He was a favourite of yours, isn't he?
Who?
Vettel.
Don't ring a bell.
Cool.
No, I don't remember that name.
And Vettel will be an Andrew driver next season alongside Daniel Ricciardo, so he's got the Shake and Bake 2014 lineup for next season, as up the inside goes Grosjean on Hamilton into Roger, and two Tornadoes in the top three. Next target, Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen is some 8 seconds ahead of this battle for third, and I don't think Hamilton has given up on it just yet. He's still got some form of slipstream. Approaching the corner which has seen so many incidents over the seasons, including Alonso being flipped by Thomas Gonzalez, and then obviously Magnussen binning it, but Hulkenberg and Van Dorn this time around. As Kimminen sets another new fastest lap as Vettel versus Hamilton into Parabolica, the battle for fourth. I think Vettel's going to take this one. He is slightly lighter than Hamilton, and he's taken that.
I feel like I've calmed down a little bit now, so I shouldn't say anything that falls foul of the AJ regulations. So
Regulations.
Yeah. So I just needed that moment to compose myself after that absolute shit show. There's no other word for it of a performance from my guys there.
Perez versus...
there's going to be some Christmas bonuses being deducted.
Perez taking Verstappen for... That was 8th place, as at the end of this lap, it looks like Väinö Kimminen is coming into the pits, so it must be 2 stopping if he's coming in at the end of lap 18 out of 52. 2018 news, so at the end of the previous race at Spa, teams who are building a 2018 car can now shift aerodynamic development onto next year's car. I think that applies to all but 3 of the existing teams.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure I know who those teams are. Is rejoined in the lead. Väinö Kimminen rejoining in the lead.
With you can't swap it to next year if you're running a B or C next year, can you?
No. You have to continue with the car you've got.
Yeah, you can only swap over to the new car if you can only roll over into next season if you're building a whole new car.
Yes.
But what you can do, which is what I think I'm going to be doing at the end of this race, is just going on to purely car development for the rest of the season rather than any performance-related stuff and
Yeah,
turning the engines down to get to the end of the race for once.
Yeah, aside from this race, I'm shifted onto 2018 because I want to do something at this circuit.
Yeah. Oh, I've just realised I've given away that I'm not running. I'm running a B car next year, but whatever.
Oh, Magnussen versus Alfonsi into the Ascari, and Alfonsi choosing to be very aggressive with that one.
I mean, did people already know that I was running a B car? I feel like can you figure that out at this point anyway?
I think I worked it out based on budgets.
Yeah.
Yes, so I think it was just 3 teams that are carrying their cars across into next season. So that's you, and I'm pretty sure Tornado and Mitchell are as well.
So Tornado would be a C. Would Mitchell be a C?
Mitchell will be a C as well.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see how long that remains competitive for a C, because you're going to have very diminishing returns, aren't you?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, and there was an overtake there, sorry.
Who is it? It was Alfonsi taking third off of Lewis Hamilton. Alfonsi in his third FF1M race, having taken that seat over from Robert Kubica, and doing pretty well.
I'm sure AJ will be pleased that I was just going off on one about B and C cars whilst his guy was being the star at the moment. Sorry about that, AJ.
I'm sure he'll accept your apology.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
So Kimi Raikkonen's also made a pit stop and rejoined 7th behind a couple of Judd cars of Magnussen and Verstappen, the only 2 Judds left. As Magnussen is going to have a look at Lewis Hamilton into the Ascari. Once again, Hamilton being quite passive and not defending that one. Up the inside goes Magnussen, and he takes that 4th place off of Lewis Hamilton. Now it's Verstappen's turn.
He's just given up, hasn't he, Hamilton?
Yeah, he seems a little bit deflated in this race somehow.
So, yeah, he's having one of his sulk days.
A little bit, yeah.
If the AI can have a sulk day, but...
Now, it's interesting that Hamilton was able to use a bit of slipstream on Magnussen and was able to try and catch back up. So the Mugen's obviously not that bad. And if it can keep up with the Judd that's running 100% and a bit more errors, Magnussen choosing to defend that into the Retifilia, and they didn't need to. And Verstappen took that 5th place off of Hamilton. Verstappen very, very unlucky at Hockenheim because he was running 3rd and then broke down with just a few laps to go. This could end badly. Careful, you two.
Yeah, no room at the end there.
Nope. The rod you're in.
Little Christmas reference.
Which film was that from? Is it a film?
That's just Christmas, isn't it?
Oh, is it just
It's a
Christmas?
Christmas thing.
Ah.
It's Mary and Joseph, isn't it? Like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And they say, there's no room at the end, and then they go chill out with the donkeys and that.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Yeah, chilling out with the ass. Speaking of ass, it's time for me to fulfill my contractual obligations with team sponsors Love Honey and do an ad read. The Rocksoft Petite Sensation Bubbles 7 function vibrating anal beads are on offer currently, down from $19.99 to $17.99. So you can save £2 there, a nice Christmas present for your auntie or your grandma. Anyway, back to the action.
Use the code Alonso crashes too much.
Yep.
As we got another pitter, this is Lewis Hamilton coming into the pits. So, what strategy is he going to take? Because it's the end of lap 23, which is sort of in the middle of nowhere in terms of fuel strategy. 32 one-stop strategy on Lewis Hamilton. So, pitting quite early for that one stop, but very quick pit stop, just 5.9 seconds.
Fancy a cup of tea?
At some point, yeah.
Yeah, I might go make one because, you know, my guys are out and I'm just still a little bit upset about it.
And Hamilton rejoining in 11th place, but going to the end of the race on his tank of fuel. He's got Farina behind him. Can Farina do something in front of his home crowd? You can see the slipstream effect. Possibly Hamilton's very heavy car at this point, and that is pretty simple round the outside of Curva Grande. And up to 11th goes Alessandro Farina. So at the moment it's a Tornado 1-2. Not often that happens. Kimmonen from Grosjean.
From 11th and 12th on the grid as well, when I did the opposite of a commentator's curse and said, oh, they've left themselves a lot of work there. I think they've been 1 and 2 since about, lap 20 or so?
Earlier than that, I think. It was
Yeah.
when Kimi made his first pit stop, so like lap 18, I think. Yeah, lap 18.
Come on, Tobias, can't you just like sort of put a Mica engine in it for a couple of races to make things interesting?
Tornado Nissan.
Yeah. Oh, there's going to be contact here.
Oh, Alfonsi a bit late on the brakes. He has made his pit stop and battling with Alessandro Farina, who has another stop to make. Thanks to that unscheduled pit stop, as into the pits comes Max Verstappen from 4th place. On go another set of soft Firestones. You can tell from the red walls. And Firestones mediums are yellow walled, and their hard tyre blue walled, but not seeing that in the race. Verstappen rejoins in 8th place, so if he keeps that going, he's got some good points on hand. That's Thomas Gonzalez who's behind him. I think he's got another pit stop to make, so Verstappen should be pretty safe to get points as long as his Judd engine hangs on. But here comes Thomas Gonzalez. Be careful, you did completely wipe out Alonso here last season, but he's got the inside line, and that's a much more mature overtake. See that sponsor on the side of the CBA?
I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a very mature overtake there by Grandad Gonzalez.
Grandad Gonzalez showing he's been a bit speedy today because he's back up in the points. 2 CBAs, 4th and 8th. I'm trying to remember another one of my cursed races here.
Ooh, there we go. There's another one for you.
Another one of my cursed races. You're looking at it right there.
Oh, pain for other people. He's not giving up though. He's hoping that the speed of the air will put out the flames.
I was hoping it would happen on his scheduled in lap because, believe it or not, you can actually cure an engine failure by pitting.
Yeah, that would have been good, wouldn't it, if he would have just gone into the pits instead? And
yeah, I think I'm going to calm it down now after this one.
That's some good driving there by and by Magnussen just to hit the wall on his way in. But there was another car, there was an AJ that just slowed right down rather than overtaking him.
I think that would have been James Clark. He's now up to 4th, but yet to make his only pit stop. Here comes Roman Grosjean. Out of the pits in 6.3 seconds. Is he going to rejoin ahead of Kimi Räikkönen or behind? If he rejoins ahead, well, just might as well end the race there.
Yeah, it's a bit boring. Shall we go home?
Oh, there goes Kimi Räikkönen. The race is still on yet.
Until Räikkönen blows up or crashes in front of him, as has been the theme of this race.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nobody even dares to try and challenge the Tornadoes anymore.
No, pretty much. And Farina comes into the pits for his scheduled pit stop. That's a new set of medium Goodyears. And we've still got yellow flags out at the moment, so I think they're still clearing Kevin Magnussen's car. Yeah, I'm dialing it back after this race.
Yeah, I think I am too.
Oh, Clark! It's actually James Clark out of the race. That's one AJ gone. His engine has had a heart attack. I better not use that too often. I used it in Hockenheim.
Engine heart attack.
Yeah. And Farina rejoining ahead of Gonzalez, who also made a pit stop, so these two are going to be scrapping until the end of the race. I'm going to briefly go on to Tornado for a moment, actually, because in this Canon format, they have equalled the record. They currently have the equal record of most podiums of any team, with 217.
Yeah, I agree. They're boring. You gotta add some spice into Tobias. You gotta run your engine at full beans or something so it might blow up. That's racing.
I will say that the next race, the Portuguese Grand Prix, that is a Tornado curse race, and if they don't break their win or even podium duck, then this season's been a complete waste of time for them.
You know what they say, if you no longer go for the blown engine, you're no longer a racing driver.
We've got Hamilton making an overtake, or trying to make an overtake on Farina. I think Farina was actually getting back ahead of Lewis Hamilton. I think Hamilton had gotten ahead going into the Parabolica, but lost that position as Kiminen comes into the pits for his second pit stop, and he had a half a minute lead over Kimi Räikkönen, so should expect him to maintain the lead.
Half a minute. Damn. It really is working well for Tornado, though, this prioritising race pace over qualifying pace, because even starting 11th and 11th and 12th, despite the fact that cars retired in front of them, I still don't... If that hadn't happened, I still think we'd be looking at a pretty commanding 1-2 lead at this point.
Yeah, but with Mitchell's running 6th and 9th, 6th for Vettel, then the team's championship won't be decided just yet. Just wait until both Mitchells blow up now.
Yeah, give it time.
Give it time, yeah. It's still got another 19 more laps to go.
Well, Vettel doesn't like the second Lesmo on this track, if my memory serves me correctly, which is what I was referring to at the start. I probably should have explained that more when I said about when I called it, and then
you called one
yeah,
thing and then a completely different thing happened.
But it was worse than the thing.
It was worse than the thing.
Yeah, so for people who are maybe new to FF1M and haven't seen that, there was a moment where a car spun out, I can't remember.
Kobayashi in the Pedersen.
Yeah, and I was having a particularly bad run of retirements with Vettel being my lead driver. And I said at the time, where as Kobayashi was spun and was in the kind of on the edge of the track, I said, Vettel's going to come round and hit him, isn't he? Just watch. Then Vettel didn't get there. He had his own accident before he got to the scene of that accident. So
yep.
Yeah, I was, even though I was that pessimistic, I wasn't pessimistic enough.
It did prompt a nice belly laugh from you though, which was funny. So what have we got here? Oh, contact. That's what we've got between Alfonsi and Farina. Two Italians going at it. Farina nudging his way into 7th place. They've still got Alfonsi in the points, so if he stays in the points, I'll give him driver of the day.
There'll be hand gestures galore there.
Yeah. La macchina stradale.
Don't know what that means, but I imagine it's not particularly polite.
I think it was like the car machine. I meant to say la macchina bloccale. No. I was trying to say the blocking machine, but I don't know. Kimi Räikkönen making his final pit stop.
So I just heard macaroni instead of whatever it was you said.
Macchina. Machine, basically, in Italian, as Perez versus Vettel for 5th place into Roggia, and that was a neat manoeuvre from Sergio, who'll be remaining with GRM next season, along with Bottas, so they're maintaining their lineup for next season.
Yeah, Perez in a... that was a move that I don't think he would have made for me in his brief spell with me. I think he had one season with me, did he?
Yeah.
And he just kept binning it, if memory serves me correctly, which seems to be a theme of my drivers.
He binned it once in Silverstone, didn't he? Oh no, it's Verstappen. Verstappen's in trouble. Where's he gone?
Yep, there we are.
That's all Judd's out again. Yeah, I need to calm it.
Yeah, I think it's time to turn down the engines and just, for both of us, just kind of get to the end of this season now. And
yeah, pretty much.
It might make it interesting in that if everybody else does that as well, maybe the Tornadoes will go the rest of the season without losing a race. That might make it a little bit interesting, see if there's a new kind of longest win streak.
Well, they already have that with 7 in a row.
But like a kind of a kind of a new unassailable win streak, if that makes sense.
Mm.
But it reminds me a little bit now of the 2019 season where it looked, I think in pre-season, it looked like it might be quite close, but in actual fact, the first 5 races were 1-2s for Mercedes, so it became a fact of, okay, well, can they win every race? And when they lost, I think the 6th round, it was like, okay, this season's pointless now.
Now we've got Gonzalez versus Alfonsi for 7th. That was into the Rettifilo, and Gonzalez taking 7th place. Jean-Eric Verne currently in 10th place and chasing Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton's chin's proper down in this race because, he's not in the points and having made all pit stops, just the one. He was early making that pit stop, so maybe his tyres have gone off at this stage. But he's fighting back over Verne, retaking that 9th place. And behind that, being lapped by Kimmonen, who himself has a 15.6 second lead over Romain Grosjean, as these two continue their squabble and continue to ignore blue flags. Into Roger, and Verne retaking that 9th place off of Lewis Hamilton. Now Hamilton's going to feather the throttle, I think. Not immediately, he's going to make it difficult. And now he lets Väinö Kimmonen through. Next one for Kimmonen will be that one in front of him there, Jean-Eric Verne. 1993. So, in the old classic season, first lap, I think JJ Leto, driver for FJR, got taken out by Mika Hakkinen. Later that first lap at the second chicane, Carl Wendlinger had an off at the Roger, but then the race got red flagged, so because everybody was just like shortcutting the first chicane, like the cars couldn't handle it. And then, but the second start, both my drivers got shunted at the first chicane. So it went even worse somehow. So that's another cursed one for me, 1993.
Which was the race where the MRDs, both of them got flipped?
2000.
That was my personal favourite.
Yeah, flipped by Ralf Schumacher. And actually, that
what a hero.
Yeah. And then Ralph took his own teammate out as well.
Oh, what a legend. Go on, Ralph.
He got disqualified from that one.
Was it after the fact or like during the race?
It was afterwards.
Yeah.
I think MRD called for a disqualification.
One of the rare times where AJ decides, nah.
You're not having that second place, Ralph.
There was calls for Vettel a couple of seasons ago to be disqualified from one race in Singapore, wasn't there? Which,
yes.
Now that Vettel isn't one of my drivers, I could probably say, yeah, maybe. Maybe you did deserve it.
That's Farina taking 4th place off of Sergio Perez. So Farina having a cracking race and looking to get some points for Gajera as Väinö Kimmonen crosses the start-finish line to take another victory.
Oh, right. You see, I didn't realise we're at the end already. I thought we might be cutting to him because he was about to lock a break or something, but nah, he's already won.
And I just saw Alfonsi come into the pits on the last lap, so he didn't get his point in his home race, so that's very unlucky. Grosjean second, so Tornado do get that one too, but Vettel getting a 5th or 6th place, I'll confirm that later, means that Tornado haven't wrapped up the team's championship just yet. And third, Kimi Räikkönen. He needed that. That's his first podium of the season. Farina taking 4th for Gajera, and Perez dropping down to 5th come the end of that race. Vettel 6th. Thomas Gonzalez makes it 2 CBAs in the top 7. And I found Alfonsi does get a point. Verne was lapped, that was why. Verne got lapped at the end and couldn't complete that final lap, so Alfonsi was able to complete that final lap and gets a point for AJ. Well done.
Go on, AJ. And the championship is still on. Mitchell can still do it.
And the long list of retirements, most of which are engine failures. We've got 3 Judd failures, Max Verstappen, Kevin Magnussen and Caterina Caracciola. And then, where was the other one?
Once upon a time we were 1, 2, 3 in this race.
Yeah.
And then we all just shat the bed.
Yeah.
It all just fell apart.
Absolutely self-destructed. Omni-shambles.
Yep.
Absolute donkey bollocks. Väinö Kimmonen holds a 32-point lead over Romain Grosjean in the championship. It's probably going to be between those two now, realistically. Hamilton didn't score a single point, remains 3rd because Alonso binned it at the first Lesmo. Sergio Perez challenging Daniel Ricciardo for 5th place, and Kevin Magnussen probably will remain on 25 points come the end if I am turning my engine down. And shifting development onto next season. So, look at that lead in the championship, and how many races are left? 5. The record for the most points scored in a season is 230. That was by you in 2009.
Oh no!
So Tornado are after you. They're after your record.
God damn it. That makes it even more infuriating.
Mitchell, the only one that can challenge Tornado now, but they need 1-2s in every race, literally. They literally need 1-2s in every race from now on. Good luck with that one.
Oh, damn it, I'll be annoyed if I lose my... Oh, in a really bad mood now.
So am I. Next race, Portugal, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, nobody cares anymore.